नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 82, Krishna meets the inhabitants of Vrindavan, text 38, 37 and 38. Ka vismareta vam maitrim anuvritam Vrajeshwari avapyapi aindram aishwaryam avapyap aindram aindram aishwaryam yasya neha pritikiya का विस्मरेत वाम मैत्रीम अनिवृत्तां व्रजेश्वरी अवाप्यपि ऐन्द्रमैश्वर्यम् यस्य नेह प्रतिक्रिया का विस्मरेत वाम मैत्रीम अनिवृत्तां व्रजेश्वरी अवाप्यापैन्द्रमैश्वर्यम् यस्या नेह प्रीतिक्रिया का विस्मरेत वां मैत्रीं अनिवृत्तां व्रजेश्वरी अवाप्यापैन्द्रमैश्वर्यम् यस्या नेह प्रतिक्रिया का विस्मरेत Ka, what woman, Vismareta, can forget? Vam, of you too, Yasoda and Nanda. Maitrim, the friendship. Anivritam, unceasing. Vrajashwari, O Queen of Braja. Avapya, obtaining. Api, even. Aindram, of Indra, Aishwaryam, opulence, Yasya, for which, na, not, Iha, in this world, Pratikriya, repayment. Translation. Rohini and Devaki said, what woman could forget the unceasing friendship you and Nanda have shown us, O dear Queen of Raja? There is no way to repay you in this world, even with the wealth of Indra. Text 38, translation. Before these two boys had ever seen their real parents, you acted as their parents and gave them all affectionate care, training, nourishment and protection. They were never afraid, good lady, because you protected them just as eyelids protect the eyes. Indeed, saintly persons like you never discriminate between outsiders and their own kin. Purport. As Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, Krishna and Balaram had not seen their parents for two reasons. Because of their exile in Braja and also because they are never actually born and therefore have no parents. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also describes what Devaki thought before speaking this verse. Devaki thought, alas, because for so long these two sons of mine had you, Yasoda, as their guardian and mother, and because they were immersed in such a vast ocean of ecstatic loving dealings with you, now that you are once more before them, they are too distracted to even notice me. Also, you are behaving as if insane and blind with love for them, showing millions of times more maternal affection than I possess. Thus, you simply keep staring at us, your friends, without recognizing us. So let me bring you back to reality on the pretext of some affectionate words. Then when Devaki failed to get any response from Yasoda, even after addressing her, Rohini said, my dear Devaki, it is impossible just now to rouse her out of this ecstatic trance. We are crying in wilderness, and her two sons are no less bound up in the ropes of affection for her than she is for them. So let us now go outside and meet with Pritha, Draupadi and others. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desetarine Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Sapratantikam Vancha Kalpatarobhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauru Bhakta Vranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. The class should finish by 8:30 sharp. So, Bhagavatam is why is there so much discussion going on? Haribol. Tell that lady, she's just loudly speaking. She has to stop speaking. Ask her to move out and stop speaking. Why are you discussing when the class is on? Disturbing. Somebody else is speaking. Okay? So, Bhagavatam is describing how once upon a time, 5,000 years ago, Krishna came to Kurukshetra because of an eclipse, and there, of course, he had left Vrindavan and gone to, Mathura, then Dwaraka, and so the Vrajavasis were missing, and then they all came to meet him. And a description takes place of how Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj saw again Krishna, and then they were absorbed in transcendental feelings. And so, and Devaki and Rohini, who are respectively the mothers of Krishna and Balaram, were stunned by the degree of love Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj were displaying for Krishna, so much so that they were looking at Mother Yasoda, Devaki and Rohini, but they were not even looking at them, and they were not even aware. Normally, otherwise they would have said, "Oh, please come, Mother Yasoda, Devaki, Rohini, sit down. You came to Vrindavan before." Nothing. So then they understood that they were not even recognizing, because they are absorbed in. And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining what went on. That is called rasa. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is known as Rasacharya. Each of the acharyas, they came for a particular purpose, and that I explained last time. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur came to present Rasa Tattva, Rasacharya. So, he came, and so he's explaining things that are, that was actually happening there. So he's expanding on the Bhagavatam. And it was the same case when Uddhava went to Vrindavan. We must understand that Mother Devaki, Rohini, Uddhava, they are all eternal direct associates of Krishna, yet they were stunned by the absorption in Krishna consciousness that Brajavasis had. When Uddhava was sent by Krishna to Vrindavan, he told Uddhava that you control your mind. He's telling Uddhava, you control your mind and you go to Vrindavan, don't commit any offenses, and you try to understand and give them the message and try to understand their consciousness. And when Uddhava went there, they were all staying, all the gopis were staying like paintings. They were just standing like that, completely. Tears coming from their eyes and absorbed in thinking about Krishna. So we have to understand that they were actually so absorbed in Krishna that Uddhava was stunned. They were not even aware of Uddhava. That is there in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it's described. And of course, I read it long time ago in the 80s. After I got my service, I don't read such books. There's no time to read other books. Service. That is the nature of service. In Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada writes that the unique character of devotional service in Goloka is that they are not very interested in associating with Krishna. they are completely absorbed in their service. Very high position. We cannot imagine that. And if we imagine, we will be just speculating. So the Mayavadis, they want to, forget everything because they think it's a source of trouble. The Brajavasis also forget everything. They cannot think of anything other than Krishna. They may be even dealing with each other, but they are not even conscious of each other in that sense. Very high position, unimaginable position. And so they were actually, of course, we are supposed to be like that, an international society for Krishna consciousness, that everybody is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, we are also supposed to be like that. We are absorbed in our service and not even aware of anything else. Sarvam Krishnamayam. But if we are fighting with each other and this and that, and we have to be aware of everything other than Krishna, then that's not Krishna consciousness. So we are on the one end, and in Vrindavan, they are on the other end. So we have to know that we have a long way to go. We should never forget that we are not really qualified to read these books. Nirmatsaranam param. This is for people who are completely free of envy for Krishna. But in the material world, everybody is, beginning from the top demigods. Indra is mentioned here. Indra is not an ordinary person. There are 330 million demigods, and everybody is coming in Indra's court to give report every morning. Can you imagine? He has got a court where 330 million demigods can come to give report. Very opulent position, Indra's position. Very, very, very high, unimaginably powerful. But even that Indra can forget Krishna, can become envious. Our position is nothing, at least my position is nothing compared to Indra's position. And that Indra, when he got upset that Nanda Maharaj was not performing the annual puja for him, he sent a rain-bearing cloud, and the rain-bearing clouds, Prabhupada explains, are like lorries of the municipality. The municipality has got water in tanks, and there is somebody in the municipality who is responsible for this. He sends all the tanks to different places for distributing water. Like that, Indra is ultimately responsible for sending all these clouds to give rains in different places. So he selected that cloud with the biggest rain, the biggest lorry, and he said, you go and inundate Vrindavan. He could have stopped with that, but he also gave a specific instruction, and he killed all the cows. That is there in Krishna book. Indra, who is supposed to protect Dharma as demigod, king of demigods. He was saying, he killed the cows. Cows were at the two in Vrindavan. So it can happen. So, we are always forgetting Krishna. Sometimes we may, by mistake, remember Krishna. That's our position. Once one follower of Prabhupada told Srila Prabhupada that sometimes I am in Maya. Prabhupada said, you are always in Maya, sometimes you are in Krishna consciousness. You should never forget that. So that is the extreme. We are in complete ignorance of God, and they are in complete ignorance of everything else. So much so that they were not even aware that Devaki and Rohini had come in front of them. Can you imagine? They have come into their tent. Their parents, but they were absorbed. And Krishna and Balram also were absorbed in their loving exchange. It was going on. It is very difficult to. The same way when Maitreya was approached by Vidura, I think in Bhagavatam, 3rd canto is there. Then Vidura, wasn't it Vidura approaching Maitreya? 3rd canto. Then he saw that who was approaching who? Vidura was approaching Maitreya. Maitreya. And he noticed that Maitreya was sitting there, and says a verse in the Bhagavatam. And he was just, what's going on? And he's watching and he's every moment he's going deeper and deeper into Krishna consciousness. And he was not speaking, he was not recognizing, and then he could understand that, oh, this personality is in an extraordinarily high platform. So there are different levels of Krishna consciousness. And even the Krishna consciousness absorption of Devaki, Mother Yasoda, Nanda Maharaj, are secondary to the absorption in Krishna consciousness of the gopis. And the absorption in Krishna of the gopis is secondary to the absorption of Krishna by Srimati Radharani. Mahabhava it's called. So, there is a whole range of consciousnesses. So, our position is that we should learn to forget material world. What is it? Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Yaha dehara smriti nahi kaha samsara bandhana. Where there is no remembrance of the material body, where is the question of material bondage? So we must never forget our beginning position. We have to understand who is God. What do we mean by God? What do we mean when we say God is a person? Right? I was just giving the example yesterday that in the stomach, there are so many living entities, amoebas and this and that. They call it biome or whatever it is anyway. And those living entities do not know that where they are staying is actually, there's a person. They don't know. It's a person. Like that, we are staying in Brahmanda, but actually it's a person. So imagine, this is God. And you cannot conceive of that God. Achintya. So God is the person behind this creation. This creation is actually God, but He is a person. Exactly like I have this body, but I'm a person. If you want to know me, you must go beyond relating to this body. Just like this is there, this table, but we don't know who is the person who made the table, but there is a person. So, behind everything, there is a person. There's a personality. So, the Godhead is everything in existence, and the personality of Godhead are called Vishnu Amsas, and the supreme personality of Godhead is Krishna. So, the person is Shaktiman, and the Shaktis are the energies. That's not same as the scientific definition of energy, but that they call energy in science, that is different. Shakti is different. So, Krishna is the original Shaktiman, Paratattva. We have no way of knowing. So, using this body and mind, you cannot know God, Krishna. Not possible. Isn't it? Just like a boy and girl, they meet, and the boy's dress cannot know the girl. Only he can know. So this body is like a dress, gross body and subtle body. We cannot know Krishna through this dress. And Prabhupada gives the example that just as it is there in the Bhagavatam purport, that just as husband and wife, when they combine, they remove their clothing like that. If you want to really approach Krishna, you have to get rid of this dressing. That's intimate relationship. But we don't even know that we are there beyond this body. We are the personality behind this body. We are the personality behind that subtle body. And Krishna is the personality behind everything. How can you know that Krishna? So the process is given. And without following that process, we should not think that we can attain Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is rare. Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev. Who is that fortunate person in the whole creation who has got Krishna consciousness? Bhakti Lata Beach. It's called Krishna consciousness. So we have to actually understand how to progress in Krishna consciousness. Because your job and my job is to know Krishna, whom we do not know. And then Krishna comes in many ways. And the first stage is purification. The purification consists of 4 things: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And when you have achieved moksha, meaning the subtle and gross body is gone, then Brahma Bhuta platform you have reached, then Brahma Bhuta prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. Then Krishna says you can actually become Krishna conscious. Just yesterday I saw a quote of Prabhupada where Srila Prabhupada said that one has to be a Brahmana before he can be initiated. But we are thinking that becoming Brahmana is initiation. The first and second initiations are part of becoming a Brahmana. Not that as soon as you get the first and second initiation, you have become a Brahmana, but it is meant, it's a long process. So, we have to know God, who is the personality behind everything. Then you can see Krishna in everything. He is also the personality. There is a personality behind this table, the guy who made it. But Krishna is the original personality. So if you want, you can see Krishna here also. Stavara Jangama Deke Na Deke Tara Murti. The Krishna conscious person is not seeing the creation but the creator. So our drishti is external. And we are misunderstanding. So the first process is dharma, which is consisting of 4 stages: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That's all together is dharma. Unless you become dharmic, and unless we become fully liberated, there is no question of Krishna consciousness. We should not imagine. Then how we are chanting, how we are dancing, how we are taking prasadam, how we are staying in Krishna's temple, how we are going. Because Lord Chaitanya made sadhana and sadhya one and the same. In Kali Yuga, nobody is capable of, not only Kali Yuga, even Satya Yuga. That is why I told about Indra. So Indra himself was not following dharma. So we must understand that in the material world, it is practically impossible to follow dharma. For everybody in all the yugas. So when Lord Chaitanya comes, he gives us a chance. He says, I will give the same bhakti process, that will be your dharma. Same chanting and dancing. But we are doing it in order to purify ourselves. You should never forget that. Therefore, I always say that this is Purascharya, beginning process of purification. It should result in becoming a Brahmana, that is Brahmajanati. And it is not possible for everyone to become a Brahmana, but everyone can become a Vaishnava. That's another big topic, Varnashrama Dharma. Sometimes people have the misunderstanding, which I also had. I think I mentioned that in a previous class. That they think that, oh, the caste system is a degraded form of Varnashrama Dharma. Isn't it? Varnashrama Dharma is the real thing. That's nonsense. No, caste is an integral part of Varnashrama Dharma. We cannot avoid the caste system. Because even if we have the 3 modes of nature, even if somebody is a Sudra, he must be born in a particular family. That family can be a carpenter family, that can be a, blacksmith family, it can be a Keti family. So caste system comes from birth. And that caste system is meant for solving the economic problem of the world. Because everybody in the caste system, born in a family, automatically inherits father's business. So everyone can focus on Krishna consciousness. So the Brahmana is also cannot implement Varnashrama Dharma. It requires a Vaishnava. So this is all big topics. Therefore, that is another point, Varnashrama Dharma, that's separate. I don't want to go into that. So our job is that we have to become dharmic, and if we don't even follow this process perfectly, how many people can say, oh, I have always chanted 16 rounds? No, people miss. We are not following even the dharmic process perfectly. But this process is non-different from bhakti, unripe mango and ripe mango. But at this stage, we are unripe mango. We are following the process of purification. And that process doesn't require a guru, but it requires an acharya. Because the Acharya is the one who establishes the general philosophy. Like medical professor is teaching the medicine. But doctor for you is, and it is not that the medical professor cannot be a doctor. Normally they also have their own practice. So it is not that the acharyas cannot be gurus. That is nonsense. But the guru cannot become an acharya. A doctor is not a professor. But a professor is always a doctor. Following? So, the medicine, general philosophy is established by the professors. So, when we are coming into Krishna consciousness, we are learning the general philosophy from the professor. He is sitting there. He is our professor. He is our acharya. So, nobody can say that you must have your own guru in order to chant Hare Krishna. Or to come to the temple, you need your own guru. Or to read the books, you need your own guru. Right? Yeah. Therefore, so chanting is coming from the acharya. That is the parampara. Sampradaya vinana, he said. But if we think this is the process of Krishna consciousness, then you don't need a guru, because to do this you don't need a guru. People know that. Therefore, you will see many times in ISKCON, they'll say, oh, you're chanting Hare Krishna, you should take initiation, because without a guru, nothing happens. That is nonsense. Guru is needed for something else. This is a personal doctor. And he can be the guru also. What is that? So, when you actually follow this process of Puracharya, for this process to, then you are doing Vaidhi Bhakti. From there to go to Suddha Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti, the transition requires a guru. These are all technical things. Basic also we don't know. But then that's not so good. So, this process of becoming Krishna conscious to the extent we can become like these personalities is not a joke. It's not a joke. It has to be cultivated. And that cultivation in the beginning is... so if we are not following dharma also properly, which is actually bhakti, but because of our stage it's dharma, then how will you become qualified to do bhakti? For this, there is one transition, which is that one should go from Man datta śeva to Prabhu datta śeva. These points are there. These are all very important aspects of Krishna consciousness. And if we don't understand these things, if we don't actually free ourselves from subtle body and gross body, then we have wasted our life. You will get, of course, great returns for being quote-unquote devotee, chanting Hare Krishna, dancing, distributing books, everything. You can go to heavenly planets, enjoy. That's not the purpose. It's not the purpose. So that transition from Prabhu datta śeva, Man datta śeva to Prabhu datta śeva is such that it is actually connected to your original identity. I may be doing scientific research, but if it's real Prabhu datta śeva, it's connected. And that transition is what will take us to the next level. But Krishna is so kind, Lord Chaitanya is so kind especially, that when he gives this process of bhakti as dharmic process, the beginning, that is dharma. You have to get purified. You have to follow the process. So in that process of dharma, you are already liberated. See? Just like I remember once I was in the airport to come to Bombay, and there was one young mother was there, and then she had a plastic rope around her waist. I said, "What is that rope?" And it's going long. I said, what is that? Then I saw one 2-year-old baby was connected to the other end of the rope. And the mother is checking in and this and that. Then I realized that she has tied the baby to that rope and they tied the rope to herself so that she doesn't have to worry about it. And the baby was running, but it was limited. Can't go. Sometimes dogs are also on the leash and they know that they're tied and they cannot go. And after some time, they're so used to that limit that by themselves they don't go beyond that limit. And even if somebody cuts that rope, they still are only going inside that area. Because they are used to that. So the soul is connected to the gross body by this string, subtle body. And he is just, limited by this body. And he is used to that. And even if somebody cuts that string, he is still acting only on the bodily platform. So actually, Prabhupada said it is a fact that when you take up to the process of Krishna consciousness, you are liberated. But we should know that. We should not return back to this stage. So it's a very thoughtful process. Munayo. You have to think and you have to perform bhakti. And it requires many, many stages that must be understood. That is not always taught properly. And when you do Prabhudatta Seva, it can help you to chant better. And or another way to put it is that it is non-different from chanting. Can deliver us perfectly. So that seva that is what everybody in Vrindavan are doing. That is why they are so absorbed. Because once you get to that seva, that is completely absorbing you. To the extent that you forget material existence. That is the sign. That one must forget. Therefore it is said that Yaha deha rasmiti kaha samsara bandhana. Where is actually material bondage? Where there is no remembrance of the material. And you can see Devahuti was in that platform. Mother Devahuti, after the son, Lord Kapila taught her real Sankhya and then he left. She was practicing Krishna consciousness. So much so that she did not even know whether she had a dress on or not. It is her assistants who used to every day make sure she had a dress on. She had completely forgot. Just like Shukadeva Goswami, of course, Shukadeva Goswami is. So this forgetfulness of matter and remembrance of Krishna, that is the beginning of Krishna consciousness. But remembrance of matter and forgetfulness of Krishna, that is Maya stage. And Krishna says, either I give according to you. What is that verse in the Bhagavad Gita? Smriti something. Matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. Either you can remember matter and forget me, or you can remember me and forget matter. Depends on what you want. So our job must be to constantly purify our actual desires so that Krishna will be pleased to give us that benediction by which we forget material energy and remember Krishna. Then we can elevate ourselves to the platform of Brajabasi slowly, slowly, slowly. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So wonderful. So many new points today I learned. I want to understand more about Prabhu Datta Seva and Mana Datta Seva. For example, around 24 years back, temple management told me to become head pujari, and
Who told you?
temple management told me to become they appointed me as head pujari, and I am doing that service. Is it Prabhu Datta Seva or Mana Datta Seva?
Well, before you, temple management told you you were in BI.
Yeah.
You forgot that. Everybody who is here was in BI before. Most people. So who told you to leave that? That you decided.
Yeah.
That's Mandatta Seva. Mandatta started before somebody told you. So Mandatta Seva is something that you think I like to do. I like to do book distribution. I like to start a new preaching center. I like to do this. I like to do that. Or somebody who is doing Mandatta Seva, he tells you to do something. We say, oh, authority has told. That's right. But that's part of the dharmic process.
So how do I go from this Mana Datta Seva to Prabhu Datta Seva?
You should find out somebody who knows the difference between the two. You should find out somebody who is speaking about it. I don't think too many people are speaking about it, isn't it? So if you hear somebody is making this distinction, then you should go to him and ask.
I have one more. In general, many scholars, like even Kalburgi or Devdutt Patnaik, all these Vedic scholars, they condemn.
Many scholars, yeah.
They condemn this Varnashram system. The first thing they attack about Hinduism is Varnashram Dharma system. But this one, then because they think that Dalits and all, they were persecuted and all. How to counter them? Because already Lord Chaitanya condemned this caste system and gave a Daivi Varnashram system.
No. He never condemned the caste system. But he condemns the thought that because you are in some caste, you cannot become Vaishnava. That is wrong. You can be a Sudra and be a Vaishnava. No, thank you. You can be a Sudra and be a Vaishnava. You can be a Kshatriya and you can be a Vaishnava. You can be a Kshatriya and not be a Vaishnava. Karna, we knew, was a demon in the previous life. Then he fought with Naranarayana, and then he had one more pati, was born as Karna. So it was not, he must have been highly dharmic. He may not have been a Vaishnava. I'm nobody to comment on that. So, the chance is being given to become a Vaishnava. But Varnashrama Dharma must be established, and caste system, as far as I understand now, is a part of Varnashrama Dharma. Because you have to be born in a specific family. And when you are born in that family, you don't have roti kapda makan problem. You are born in a family, you already have the business. You are born in a carpenter's family, your father's business you inherit. So you can now focus your life on following Krishna consciousness. Sthane sthita, you stay in that position and practice Krishna consciousness. A Sudra need not do great tapasya. But it's there in the Ramayana. Lord Rama was going somewhere. Somebody was doing a Ghora tapasya, standing upside down on the tree, hanging. Lord Rama went and said, what are you doing? No, I'm doing tapasya. He said, what is your caste? Jati. No, I'm Sudra. Without saying another word, Lord Rama took his sword and cut his head off. Finished. Similar to what Kalki would do in the future. So the important point is that economic development is through the caste system. Because in that caste, how did they know how to do carpentry? Or how to do blacksmith? There is no theory. Practice only. Because it came from Krishna through the sages. Nobody, the Hindus always say, oh, our sages were scientific, our forefathers were scientific. Nobody is scientific, it's nonsense. Krishna is scientific. Krishna knows how to do matter so many things, and he has taught. So that is the. So what happened is when the modern science and technology came around 1600, then when the British came here, that's what they attacked first, the caste system, because they needed people to work in their factories. So they attacked the caste system and they made people come into the cities and work in the factories and this and that. And once they lost the caste, they lost their, economic thing. So it is very important, if we want to set up by Daivi Varnashrama Dharma, that the engines of economy of the society must also be provided by the Vaishnavas. So the only way caste system can come in ISKCON, and it should come. I started sketching just 10 days ago an article called Caste System, Curse or Boon. They are thinking it's a curse, but it's not. It's actually a boon. Without the caste system, society will be in chaos. Without Varnashrama Dharma, society will be in chaos. Caste is specific to a particular family, in a particular kula, in a particular family, a particular person is born. Just because you are born in the carpenter family, there are five sons, they are not the same. They are different. So these are all things. So the modes of nature, then the kula, and then the family, and then kutumbam, and then yourself. What is that Bhagavatam statement that Deha Jantrupa Padyate, Karmana Devanetre? So these are all the various factors, none of them can be removed. So what happened is that the Brahmana was not qualified to guide the others. So he was simply performing the rituals, even in Satyuga. So it slowly degraded. Even then, the other castes have not actually given up so easily. So only when a Vaishnava Brahmana is the head of the system can you actually have Varnashrama system. So this science and technology that we are developing, that I am developing through Prabhupada's mercy, that is actually meant to bring back the caste system. Because the society is right now being done by Karmi scientists and technology, which is destroying everything. That's another topic. Am I answering your point? And ISKCON doesn't know that. ISKCON cannot on its own establish Varnashrama Dharma. It's not possible. That's why Prabhupada said to be, in his final days before taking Samadhi, I have done 50%, the remainder is yours for BI. But you do it. But ISKCON has got no concept. And Prabhupada also said this scientific work is for those who will not come to the temple. That's 99% of the population. They don't know. It's very sad. But what I can do, I sent to one BBT person yesterday. That in 1976, Prabhupada said that you give them $20,000 a month. At that time, the BA was not even formed. So right now it should be at least 10 times more, $200,000 a month you should give. And that also 10 times more, because 8 rupees has become 80 rupees. That's the kind of funding Prabhupada wanted. Otherwise, why would he say if they want, the institute can take both buildings? He had that conception. They don't know. So actually, one of the important reasons of the scientific work is to bring back the caste system, which is part of the Varnashrama. Does that make sense?
The present day problem is everybody wants to become Sudra. So that is why so much unemployment problem. So nobody wants to.
Everybody is made of this. Janmana jayate Sudra.
Everybody wants to work.
Everybody is a Sudra, but samskara dvija. The samskaras are gone.
Yeah.
And now the samskaras are the dharma. chanting Hare Krishna, following four regulative principles. But to bring that, you have to actually set up the engines of economy. So the science and technology, new science and new technology is very important. Good questions, very good questions. I hope I answered it properly. Anybody else has any other good question? But the questions should be like that, connected to the class.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
हाँ,
मैं कुछ समझा कुछ नहीं समझा, लेकिन आपने अभी कहा कि प्रभुपाद ने कहा कि मैं आधा वर्णाश्रम धर्म किया है और आधा बीआई करेगा।
आधा वर्णाश्रम धर्म, आधा preaching, that is Krishna consciousness.
कृष्ण कॉन्शियस, यस। तो आज इस्कॉन में इतने बड़े बड़े एजुकेटेड लोग आते हैं, तो व्हाई नॉट गिव फर्स्ट ऑफ बीआई, बीआई को ज्यादा खोज देना चाहिए, क्या होता है?
हुआ ऐसा हुआ। प्रभुपाद जी ने एक लेटर लिखा ना उस समय सब प्रेसिडेंट्स को, आपका मंदिर में जिस जिस आदमी को बीए में डिग्री है सब लिस्ट भेज दो। कोई ने आंसर किया, सिर्फ लॉस एंजल्स टेम्पल का प्रेसिडेंट आंसर किया, जय तीर्था, और कोई नहीं किया। सो बट मोर दैट उस समय से अभी बहुत आगे आ गया हम। So we have made the breakthroughs in science and all that, but they don't know. Nobody knows. In this temple, nobody knows. It's very sad. It's very sad. क्यों लोग को कुछ पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है, इसका इम्पोर्टेंस क्या है। They are thinking जो कुछ आप साइंस में करेगा तो क्या फायदा है, उसके बाद सब लोग चैंटिंग करने का है। नहीं, चैतन्य महाप्रभु का उद्देश्य नेक्स्ट स्टेज में सबको चैंटिंग प्रचार करने का नहीं है। The next stage is to sense gratification. You have to make people, you have to give them a new science and new technology by which they can fulfill. रोटी कपड़ा मकान, बिना दैट कैसा आएंगे? जो लोग अभी मंदिर में आए हैं वो लोग तो थोड़ा ब्राह्मणत्व है, इसलिए सब छोड़ के आ गया। सब नहीं आ सकता है। प्रभुपाद ने बोला everybody cannot become a temple devotee, isn't it? Prabhupada said that. So varnashrama dharma is for them, and for varnashrama dharma you must have caste system. That means practice, paisa banane ka tarika. That comes from science and technology. It's very important. ये मेरा हाथ में नहीं है, प्रभुपाद जी का है, चैतन्य महाप्रभु का है। तो आई एम टायर्ड, सो आई जस्ट करेंगे। अभी हो गया नो माय एंडिंग लाइफ स्टेज जाएगा। सो जो लोग पढ़ के आते हैं मूवमेंट में, बुद्धि नष्ट हो गया, बुद्धि नष्ट हो गया। Oh, I don't have time. So next class, I wanted to. I have made a Bhagavad Gita quiz, 10 questions. It takes less than 1 minute. So I wanted that to be put on the screen, and you can all go on your phone and answer. How many of you want to do that? The quiz, put your hand up. वाइफ कहाँ है भगवद गीता? Let me try search. Yep. लिख दो इसमें, स्क्रीन में लिख दो। है, लिख सकता है स्क्रीन में? लिख दो www, स्क्रीन में सब आप फोन निकालो, you go to the browser www लिखा, .rasaraja RASARAJA, थोड़ा बड़ा करो ना, that's the maximum. www.rasaraja.org, Bhagavad Gita quiz hyphen Bhagavat BHAGA no H BHAGAVAD Bhagavad hyphen Gita GITA hyphen quiz QUIZ. So that is www.rasaraja.org/ Bhagavat BHAGAVAD hyphen Gita hyphen quiz. आता है? Is it coming? Huh? आ गया. So then there is things are there. You can answer that things and see how many simple questions only, not difficult. Should not take you more than a minute. You can do that, and you will know. You can quickly answer. You're doing? You did? How many you got? 8? You did? Page not found? Yeah, why? They all got. www.rasaraja.org/Bhagavat BHAGAVADs hyphen Gita hyphen quiz. So it is not, so you are all part of the temple council, right? Yeah, right? You are part of the temple council. You, he, Sundar Chaitanya. So you all should ask why yourselves, why you are not supporting this institute. That's Prabhupada's instruction. Whatever you are collecting, that is Prabhupada's Lakshmi, not yours. And it should be used the way Prabhupada said it should be done. Oh, we don't know what is happening in BA. You don't need to know. It's not your service. You can know if you put time, but for funding, that's not necessary. Kia? I should have remembered a little earlier and done it. Now it's time, but let's finish it. आपने किया? Yeah, you can open and answer. Krishna Premananda, you got it? Why? You don't have internet? Give me. What? I can't hear you, just mumbling. Where is it? Where did you put? No. Oh, I know what happened. What's that? You did? How many you got? 5. You got 5? But simple questions, no? But not all answers are known. There was one question about the world. Scientists say world is created by Big Bang. But Bhagavad Gita says that Krishna created it. Is it true or false? I'm sure most of you said true. The correct answer is false. But you should know why. Like that is called philosophy. Anybody got more than 7 or 8? Anyway, you all tried. Thank you very much. We'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.